Wagwan guys, what's going on? I hope you're doing well. I cannot complain myself. I don't want to make this one too long of a video, but it's kind of interesting, you know, the cause and effect that you can see take place and happen. You got Mariah the scientist, and I got the video on the loop for you guys. She basically gets into a brawl in Fulton County. Well, she ends up in Fulton County Jail, but she's at an Atlanta lounge, and I believe she's on tour. She's doing her tour, and I think she has a show, one of the last shows of her tour that took place in Atlanta right now. So tonight. And basically, they're at a lounge, and she gets into a brawl with this chick. Probably, just being 100% like honest with you, probably it was more going on in that story than what was told or what was reported. It's kind of a one-sided report. This lady obviously was, you know, got hands and feet put on. There's video evidence of it, and she said it was unprovoked. Was it probably unprovoked? I don't think so. I think it was some more going on to that. I think it was probably some type of disrespect happening, and that's what took place. But it's always going to be a spin on it. Yeah, it's just, it is what it is, and there's always an opposite and equal reaction. Energy is never lost, you know, it's never destroyed, it's just transferred. So if you go back, I want to say not too far removed, there was a situation with Young Thug, because she's dating Young Thug of YSL, and all the information that's going on in his court proceedings, and that's going on, it's televised, right? You guys are like, can see it on social media, blog sites are reporting on it. Well, all that's like government, right? It's federal information. It can be accessed, and it could be seen by, like, you know, pretty much any citizen, like, you know, and I think it's like maybe even through a paywall that you can access that site, but it's basically open to, you know, the public information. And I think it was like a video call that they were on. They were like in person, and that got leaked, and it was like maybe an ick for some people, and it was a lot of, you know, it was reports on that. So she probably felt the way about it. It even garnished the, you know, the attention of Drake, and he actually made a comment, because it was like kind of classes that was leaked, and, you know, there was a whole bunch of more information regarding that court case still, and it's ongoing as well. But that led to this, when you really think about it, right? Because, you know, I'm not saying it had anything to do with this, but just following that timeline, that was like maybe the last incident where we saw that, right? And it was maybe an embarrassing moment, you could say. It was something that's supposed to be private, secluded, but it ended up getting leaked. And now Mariah being famous, having status, having social media presence, having a lot of fans who care about her, right? To have her fight this girl, and I think the girl name was Cleopatra Dews, and it was some like confusion if they were talking about is this rapper that shares her name, first name, and they thought it was her in the video, but obviously it wasn't. It was just some regular chick name with the name Cleopatra. And that was a bad decision right there. That was a very bad decision, because this is kind of a nobody. So she's going to, well, I'm not saying like a nobody, but like just not known to the, you know, greater public. And she's gonna go for the money back. She's gonna go for the purse. She's gonna press charges. She's gonna do whatever it takes, right? Because she's not in the industry. She doesn't have to worry about, you know, how she's perceived or what perception of how things are supposed to be handled. She's saying this is unprovoked, and that's how she's proceeding forward with this incident. Now, the reason I say it probably wasn't the smartest thing to do, that being number one, right? And secondly, it's like, you know, she's very ladylike, so you wouldn't think that would happen. You would think, and then, I mean, you want to protect yourself. You don't know what was going on, but her side of the story is saying it was unprovoked. She just attacked her. So you definitely don't want to get out of character And that's like that's a bad decision, and that's like you getting out of character. Because come on, pretty women who are dolled up rarely gonna get into a fight. Now when they probably cross paths with another lady, you do see that. I will say that you do see that. And the only comparison, and you see in the video, you really can't get a good look of how things are going, but she's on the ground kind of rough housing a little bit. But I want to say this. I'm going to make this statement, and I think it's a Kanye lyric. It says some of the most beautiful women do the most ugliest things. I think that's what he said, paraphrasing it. And you have to watch what you do. You don't know if someone's building up angst, someone's building up anxiety, jealousy. You don't know what could be brewing with people, individuals. Just like we don't know exactly what was going on in this story, but we see what is being reported, right? I'm not jumping to no conclusions, not making no assumptions, right? But another story I can lay beside it, parallel, and kind of you can draw the same inferences, I would say. It was this individual, I think she was close to somebody, like she was close to the victim, and they even lived together for a period of time. Her mother raised her. She ends up basically Xing this person out, right? Xing this person out, and they're trying to figure out who did it. And it was like one of her childhood friends, even was like basically like a sister. She ends up, Xing her out because, she had like a string of recent arrests that was like, I guess that motivated her, that behavior to, continue to act like that. And I guess nobody was checking her on it. Right. And so what could have been there? There could have been some jealousy that was building up. That could have been a whole ton of things. They found her like in another state 3 months later. And this is somebody who brazen broad daylight, carried out an act like this. Right. And then to say like these are two women, what will make a woman do that? You have to be very hot. You have to be boiling at that point to do something like that. And then I'm gonna draw this last example, right? And then I'm gonna just tie it up and it'll be over with. But this goes to show you some of the most beautiful women do the most ugliest things. And then this is another, also some of the smartest people do the most dumbest things, right? So an example, I go to the dentist, right? Earlier in the week, I go to the dentist, and there was some confusion with the billing. How they ask you if you want to pay half and half. You pay half when you first get there, then you can pay half once everything's complete. Well, I was like, let me just go ahead and pay everything up front. So I paid everything up front, minus insurance and all that. And then I want to say halfway to being complete, they're letting me know, they're relaying it to me that, hey, you know what? We overcharged you. Okay. So really, in actuality, you're only going to be paying this. So I was like, okay, not a big deal. Not a big deal at all. It's actually better because, I'm saving more money now, right? So I go out and actually it was like, I want to say it was like, I mean, 90, I want to say maybe even 90 to 95%, of the initial bill, I was like probably going to only pay that. That's how big of a swing it was. So when I get back, I go to check out or whatever, and I'm supposed to be getting a refund, obviously. And the lady hands me back like $124. Well, a receipt for it because I paid with my card. And it was a moment there. And the lady looked at me. She kind of like, I was like, cause I was perplexed for a second. And you got to think about it. I just left the chair, and it's like, do I really want to argue and sit here and tell this lady who's like literally, a receptionist at this, nice dentistry office, and very nice offices, may I add. Like, do I have to sit here and explain to her like her billing processes? I don't have to do that. Matter of fact, I just didn't have I would have loved to do it. I just didn't have the energy to do it. I could, and it was one of those moments where I'm like, this is one of the moments where obviously this lady is smart, very smart, right? To get where she's at, I'm not, whatever she's doing, I'm not in any type of question to it whatsoever. So I got the receipts or whatever. I made sure I had the receipts, and I was like, and you could she knew because when I told her, I was like, so that's it. She tilts her head, shrugs her shoulders, gives me this laissez-faire smirk, like, yeah, that's it. And I'm like, oh my goodness. So maybe like 3 days, I heal up a little bit more. Still got some more healing to do, but healed up a lot in those days. I leave a voicemail with the billing lady to let her know, like, hey, this is this is kind of what I'm dealing with at this time. You know what I'm saying? Can you help me out? And so obviously she's like, oh wow, I don't know why I don't know what she was thinking, So she just refunded me, the correct amount, So that was it. But that's another situation where you have people that are smart, people that know better. It's just time for them to implement the right mind, the right thinking, the right actions in order to do better, right, and get better results. But like I say, man, Mariah the scientist, obviously she's a nice up and coming rising star, has a fan base. You don't need to be fighting girls. You do not need to. You don't need to be fighting. You got some security. You got somebody that can. You don't need to be putting your hands on nobody. That's just real talk. But that's what I got for you guys, man. Peace. I'm out.